Hello, I am John Barker, and welcome to another episode of Here to Record Show and Tell. In this episode, we're going to take a look at how to capture audio at a conference or an event. We have a few things on the table here, a few different options that you have, and I'm going to just take you through each one, tell you the pros and the cons, and hopefully it gives you an idea of how to capture audio at your next event. So maybe the conference you're going to doesn't actually have any microphones, or maybe they do, but their setup is just really weird. So in that case, I would also always bring a couple of microphones to an event. Even if I know that it's going to be already mic'd up, all the speakers, I like to just bring a few extra microphones just in case I really need them. The pros with this kind of setup is that you have full control over the sound. So you can put in your own microphones, the ones that you're comfortable using, and you know what kind of sound you're going to get from it, how to adjust the sound, if anything goes wrong, what you need to look out for. So it's definitely, there's a plus side of bringing your own thing. In this case, I have the Rode Link Filmmakers Kit. Obviously, there's loads of different options of microphones that you can use, but I bring a couple of these sets just in case I need them. I've often used them for meetups, never had to use them for a full conference yet, but I'm going to bring them just in case that time comes. The thing that you can do with these is bring a few sets, mic up your speakers, and then you're just good to go. Plug the other end into whatever device you have, audio recorder, camera, all that good stuff. So a few downsides of this particular way of doing things is that you will need to potentially mic up the speakers twice. If the venue has microphones and if you have your own separate microphones you want to use, the speaker may have to wear two different microphones. That can be a little bit intrusive for the speaker. You need to explain to them why that is the case. You might want to do that, like I said, because the venue has a weird audio system where their audio desk is hidden in the back somewhere, or there's no one on. I've had that before where in a conference there's no one really working the audio. They just have microphones that people can plug in or switch on and attach to themselves and talk, and it works over their system, but there's no one really around to control them, to give you a feed from that audio desk. So in that case, it makes sense to use your own microphones. I know it's weird to have two microphones on a speaker, but they'll get over that pretty fast and you'll get good quality audio, and the people in the room will also get good quality audio. So that's definitely one pro and a con of doing this particular setup. And one other con is that you might actually need an extra person to help you out, to change microphones, to put them on the right person, change batteries. I'm sure you have enough stuff to do if you're already recording and live streaming the conference. So in that case, you may actually need someone else to give you a hand. A usable option is actually just to take something like this, which is a handy recorder, Zoom H4n, and just strap it to a speaker. I've seen this done at weddings and all sorts of events where you just basically just take this, use some tape or use something and just strap it to a speaker. And let's just pretend that this is the one of the speakers in the auditorium. It's hanging up somewhere. Let's just pretend that's a speaker. And then all you have to do is either position your recorder pretty close to it, or you could strap it on there, and if it's a big enough speaker you can just strap it on there and get what can be a pretty good signal. I mean, it's not going to mean you have to run any cables. You can sync the audio later whenever you get home to do the edit, but it has its downsides. Obviously, it's hard to monitor audio whenever you've got something strapped to a speaker right beside a speaker. Imagine putting headphones in there and trying to listen to what you're recording. Not so good. You have to just trust the meters on the device itself. But in terms of a backup, at least, of your audio, it can be definitely a good option. I would recommend bringing this along to a conference, setting it up somewhere. I wouldn't put it on the stage because speakers tend to just walk around a lot and you'd have to somehow get it to be close enough to them. But if they're already mic'd and they already have a PA system in the auditorium or the conference venue, then strapping this to a speaker may be one of your best options. This is my favorite option, where you just take a feed straight from the audio board or audio mixer that's already in the venue. Chances are they already have somebody working there who is mixing the audio between speakers and microphones and all that good stuff. So what you should be able to do, and what I'm doing even for this video right now, is just taking a feed from this board and sending it straight into my camera. Now luckily I have cameras that have XLR inputs, so I can just take a straight feed over an XLR on the other end of this cable, and then that just goes straight into the camera, and I can use the camera to record onboard audio. That also means that I can pass that same audio over the HDMI feed into my ATEM switcher, live switcher, so that I can take the feed from the conference and wrap it up within the video and switch between camera angles and keep that nice clean audio feed. Some serious pros of this is that somebody who's already probably getting paid to do this job is doing all the hard audio mixing work for you. So they are a dedicated person, hopefully, that's just keeping the audio right, giving you a nice feed out of the mixer, and you don't really have to worry about audio adjustments all that much. If you want, you could also run their audio board into your own audio board, and then you have a little more like fine grain settings so that you can really just mix things the way you want them. But often cameras have some fine adjustments, or at least coarse adjustments on the side, so you can do any little changes that you want. But that's why I love this version of capturing audio, is because you don't really have to do all that much because someone's already done it for you. A top tip I would say on this is that sometimes, based on their setup, on the cables they have, on whatever happens, you can get some sort of ground or hum introduced into your signal. So something that is worth carrying around with you is a little DI box. In this case, this version, I'm not really using it today for this video, but just to give you an example, what I'm able to do is just flick a switch and it takes away all the electronic interference. So let me just show you what that sounds like, and then I'll flick the switch and turn it off. If you hear this whenever you're trying to record a conference or an event, and you've got a direct feed out of the mixing board and you've plugged it straight into your camera, and you hear this kind of noise, then the DI box is the thing to use. So I'm going to unplug, and you'll hopefully hear a big hum, and then I'll flick a switch and you'll see that hum go away. Here's what it sounds like. So that was my really coarse example. I know it seems like, why would I unplug that just to show you that? But really I just wanted to let you hear the noise. If it's something that you don't really deal with very much, it's certainly something that surprised me whenever I plugged into a mixer for the first time. Heard that big hum. They had a DI box at the venue. I was able to run it through that and strip out that electronic interference, and then it just sounded super clean. So with this box, you can just about see there, I flicked that little switch, which takes from lift to ground, and it just stripped out that interference. Super cheap box, worth every penny if you go to an event where they give you a feed that has that electronic interference on it. You just flick the switch and it turns off. So hopefully you found that useful. Those are just a few options of recording audio. Something I would never do is use the onboard camera audio. It's just not, it just doesn't sound good. Maybe if you're right beside a PA speaker and somehow you got a really clean feed from that, maybe you could use that. I've done it before, like 10 years ago at my first ever event. I did it that way. It sounded okay, but it didn't sound anywhere near as good as a direct feed sounds. So it's an option, but really it's like every other option failed on the day, and you could do that. Instead, bring along a little recorder and strap it to a speaker or something like that. I bet you'll get a cleaner feed from something like that. So hopefully you found that useful. If you do have any other options in terms of recording sound, then please do leave them in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, let us know what you think, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.